Unatira vanachari Munatira vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Jayo Krishna Rukmini Jayo Satyabhama Krishna Rukmini Jaya Satyabhama Jayo Nitai Gauranga Jayo Nitai Gauranga Nitai Gauranga Jayo Nitai Gauranga Jayo Jayo Prabhupada 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 जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिराज का आचार्य अष्टोज वैन के सभी चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय श्रीमद् भगवद गीता की जय ताय गौर प्रेमानंदे ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय Reading from chapter number 2 Bhagavad Gita. The contents of the Gita summarized. Text number 55. Please repeat after me. Shri Bhagavanu Vacha Prajahati Yada Kaman Sarvan Partha Manogatan Atmanya Evatmana Tushtaha Sthita Prajna Sadochate. Word to word meaning. Shri Krishna Bhama ki jai, Shri Krishna Balaram ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Bhagavanu Vacha, the Supreme, repeat after me, Shri Bhagavanu Vacha, the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, Prajahati gives up, Yada, when, Kaman, desires for sense gratification, Sarvan, of all varieties, Partha, O son of Pritha, Manah Gatan, of mental concoction. Atmani, in the pure state of the soul. Evam, certainly. Atmanam, by the purified mind. Tustaha, satisfied. Sthita prajnaha, transcendentally situated. Tada, at that time. Uchate, is said. Translation and purport by Divine Grace S.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Translation. The Blessed Lord said, O Partha, when a man gives up all varieties of sense desire which arise from mental concoction, and when his mind finds satisfaction in the self alone, then he is said to be pure transcendental consciousness. Please repeat the translation. The Blessed Lord said, O Partha, when a man gives up all varieties of sense desire which arise from mental concoction, and when his mind finds satisfaction in the self alone, then he is said to be in pure transcendental consciousness. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. The Bhagavatam affirms that any person who is fully in Krishna consciousness or devotional service of the Lord has all the good qualities of the great sages, whereas a person who is not so transcendentally situated has no good qualifications, because he is sure to be taking refuge in his own mental concoctions. Consequently, it is rightly said herein that one has to give up all kinds of sense desire manufactured by mental concoction. Artificially, such sense desires cannot be stopped, but if one is engaged in Krishna consciousness, then automatically sense desires subside without extraneous efforts. Therefore, one has to engage himself in Krishna consciousness without hesitation. For this devotional service will instantly help one on to the platform of transcendental consciousness. The highly developed soul always remains satisfied in himself by realizing himself as the eternal servitor of the Supreme Lord. Such a transcendentally situated person has no sense desires resulting from petty materialism. Rather, he remains always happy in his natural position of eternally serving the Supreme Lord. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakayam Chakshurunmilitam Mena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaham Namaham Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nithinaminim Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharinim Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyata Deshatarinim Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityanandam Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivashadi Gaura Bhakta Vrindam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. It's the second chapter of Bhagavad-Gita. The heading of second chapter is Contents of the Gita Summarized. The entire 18 chapters are summarized in this second chapter. And this 55th text, which says, the Krishna says, the Blessed Lord said, O Partha, when a man gives up all varieties of sense desire, which arise from mental concoction, and when his mind finds satisfaction in the self alone, then he is said to be pure transcendental consciousness. Here it is said, when his mind finds satisfaction in the self alone. It means, as Prabhupada mentioned in the purport, the self is meant to do service to Krishna. That means we are meant to do service. We take pleasure in serving Krishna. That is actually self-situated. If you see the purport, Prabhupada says, the highly developed soul always remains satisfied in himself by realizing himself as the eternal servitor of the Supreme Lord. It means that It says the highly developed soul always remains satisfied in himself by realizing himself as the eternal servitor of the Supreme Lord. That means the self means when we realize that we are eternally servitor of Krishna. That's where we always remain happy and satisfaction by rendering service to Krishna. Otherwise, what it mentions here, when a man gives up all varieties of sense desire, the desires also, it comes by mental concoctions. The mental concoction means by speculating, by own understanding without any references by Shastra. Because as Shastra says, anything should be in line with Shastra Chakshushu. The vision, whatever we see, it should be in line with the Shastra. It's not, because what Krishna says, even though human has 4 defects, we all know, we commit mistakes, we have a nature of forgetfulness, we have tendency to do cheating, and we are to be illusioned. That means these are 4 defects of human nature, because we don't remember what exactly we done on the same day. We have nature of forgetting, and we have tendency to do cheating, one of the aspects, and we always commit mistakes, and we are to be illusioned. These are the 4 human defects. Having these 4 defects, whatever we analyze with our little intelligence of mind, intelligence and ego, it always comes as a concoctions, because unless we don't come in line with Shastra, even though we may have a lot of positive deeds, positive activities, but Krishna says, as Prabhupada says in Bhagavad-Gita also, in purport Prabhupada says, the Bhagavatam affirms that any person who is fully in Krishna consciousness or devotional service of the Lord has all the good qualities of the great sages, whereas a person who is not so transcendentally situated has no good qualifications. Here it is mostly talking about the spiritual aspects. The good qualification, mostly when we are situated in the Krishna consciousness only, we all develop naturally good qualities. It's not that we specifically endeavor it. When you render service to Krishna, naturally all those good qualities will arise. Just like we can understand with small narration, it's a story. There's a king and minister. The minister and king usually go once in a while to forest for hunting, to improve the military arts, military skills by hunting the animals. Once so happened, the king and minister went together. And what happened in the jungle, in the forest, we know all sort of wild animals, snakes will be seen. That day, there is a very poisonous snake came and bitten the toe of the king's leg. And what happened? It's very poisonous. It's immediately it injecting the heavy poison into the blood. Naturally, he will die in a period of hour together. And what the minister done, he immediately took out the knife and chopped that finger. But by doing so, the poison was not spreaded very quickly. It immediately got subsided. The person becomes safe. And it so happened, but the king was actually not very satisfied. It just like, we all know that when we go to medical assistant, medical support, like suppose some facial surgery, even though you have small moles, people try to remove it. And they say the face should not get any trouble by doing it so. Means naturally, when we go for any medical surgery, we always try to remain as it is without any alteration by doing so. What it says here, when the minister was done by like that, but the king was not so happy. He was saying, you can do it in another way. Why you done it by chopping my finger? The minister was very intelligent person, is very generous. He said everything is go on well. It's a will of the Lord. It's a plan of the Lord. It's by blessing of the Lord only it happened. Like what he tried to say, it's all for our goodness only it happened. But the king was not so satisfied, and he was a little upset what the statement he given by the minister also. And what happened? He kept behind the bars. The king has a right. He kept the minister behind the bars, and the minister also accepted very faithfully. By the order of the king, because then king was surprised. How you say that? Because when you are going back behind the bars, it's a punishment. And at the same time, he is saying to the back, it is also will of the Lord. It is also the blessing of the Lord only. It so happened that I am going behind the bars. The king was not so satisfied with the statement of the minister. It went on that the minister went behind the bars. Naturally, the next time the king went alone, for hunting in the forest. At that time, what happened? There's the tribals who are living in the forest, and they have some rituals. There's some festival rituals was happening in their celebration, and they are searching for one human. They want to offer a narabali to the goddess Kali. That's what their celebration is, and they found the king, and they're very happy. They got the king. They caught the king, and they took him, to chop him. They took them to the puja rituals program, and then the pujari who was doing all the rituals there, he thoroughly monitored, screened the person, and they come to know that that person doesn't have a finger, and he was rejected because because when they don't have a finger, he is not a complete person. He is like a handicapped. That means the priest said to the tribal king, no, he is not complete person. He is a handicapped. We cannot offer that to Kali. In that way, the king was released, and that king was so happy. No, because of my minister, whatever act he done, I was saved now. Then with that, so happy, he want to share this to his minister. He went to the prison and he met his minister. Then the minister said, see, everything went on well. That is a good sign. That means everything is the will of the Lord. Everything goes good. Then king put back the question. Then, okay, it's for me, I can able to sense it. What has happened, it's good to me. But in your case, you are behind the bar. Behind the bar means it's not a good. It is a punishment. How can you say it is a good for you? Then the minister replied, see, if you not kept me behind the bar, I will be with you on the day when we go together to the forest. Because you are handicapped, you got escaped. Because if I am there with you, I will be killed by the tribals. No, that's the story behind that. What to understand is, whatever happens in our life, whether it is a good or bad, because at our current state, current understanding, we cannot able to judge it, whether it is happening good to me or not. Because for our understanding, bad means whatever trouble comes to these five senses, five indriyas. Suppose when mother cooks the bitter gourd sabji, it is not very palatable. It's a very bitter taste. But as a naturally, we may not like to eat it. But it is good for the health. Some of the understanding we can have it. Suppose sometimes we have to eat the bitter juice, some neem juice when we are not healthy. Sometimes we have to take only the vegetables for our diet. Naturally, we may not appreciate to eat those type of foods, but it is good for us. Even the children, they may not like to take medicines. But as a parents, we know what is good for them. Even though the children may not like to have the medicine which is bitter and pungent taste, but still the parents try to offer that to children. Similarly, what Krishna conscious says, when you become a Krishna conscious, naturally you develop all the good qualities. That's what Prabhupada says here. When a man gives up all varieties of sense desire, which arise from mental concoction. Here, if you see one more aspect, we can understand. Every day, naturally, our service is to go and meet people. Every day from morning to some 6 to 7 hours, we go in a field. We meet various people, inviting them, conducting some programs in their houses, taking some contributions for the constructions, the festivals. Many times I always come across some incidents. The people always say, Swamiji, when Lord calls me, only I can come. No, it's not my will, I can come to temple. Because we may also have idea of it. Because when we think about Lord Balaji in Tirupati, if only Balaji calls me, only I can go. Without his permission, without his invitation, I cannot visit the temple of Balaji, or any temple if you so. But the spiritual aspect to say, there is always two objects comes under it. There is the blessing of the Lord also happens, and also there should be a chesta in our side. The two aspects. It is sure, without blessing of the Lord, we cannot visit, we cannot have his darshan. At the same time, how much chesta we are doing it. That is an important plan. Because blessing is like a bonus. It's not our control. But the chesta is in our control. Chesta means our endeavor. Unless you put endeavor to overcome your challenges, to
do spiritual activities, the Lord also doesn't help. Like in English they say, Lord helps one who help themselves. That means one who help themselves, one should put endeavor for himself to come out of it. Just like when you as a part of the sadhana, we all supposed to get up by 4 o'clock and attend Mangalarti in temple by 4:30 a.m. morning. Every day we get up like that. No, unless you endeavor, unless we do a little chest of getting up, Lord also will not show blessing on us. Because just like it is mentioned in the 12th chapter morning, we had a class of Bhagavatam. Our temple president, Suvikta Prabhu, is explaining in the 12th chapter, first verse and second verse. I just read out. As Krishna says in 12th chapter, 6th and 7th verse. It is from the first sloka onwards, but 6th and 7th explains here. For one who worships me, giving up all his activities unto me, and being devoted to me without deviation, engaged in devotional service and always meditating upon me, who has fixed his mind upon me, O son of Pritha, for him I am the swift deliverer from the ocean of birth and death. Krishna says, for one who worships me, giving up all his activities unto me, that means offering your hard work, labor to Krishna, and being devoted to me without deviation, engaged in devotional service and always meditating on me, who has fixed his mind upon me, O son of Pritha, for him I am the swift deliverer from the ocean of birth and death. No? Somebody who performs devotional activity by rendering service, by offering his result to the Krishna, by meditating on him. No? In that way, Krishna says, I am the swift deliverer. He gives the liberation, the swift immediately. There is no waiting. He says, the swift deliverer from the ocean of birth and death. This is a spiritual understanding. No, that means unless we put our endeavor, as we say, Krishna only, unless Lord calls, how can we go to temple? No, many times we come across such points, we even concoct it. It's our mental speculation. Unless we put our chesta, our endeavor to get up itself is important. Just like when we see in the corporate sectors, some companies offer bonus in the respective month, like in the Diwali or Pongal. No, we don't. It's a bonus means it's a extra. It's not our hard work. It's a bonus by the company. No, bonus is not our hard work. Bonus is a blessing by the company. Means some companies may offer, some companies may not offer. But our salary is our hard work. Because when we work regularly every month, whatever salary we get, it's our hard work. But whatever bonus, it's a company's interest. In that way, our endeavor is a priority. The blessing comes, it's a bonus by us. In this way, we can understand spiritual journey is so simple. We should only practice in the association of devotees by the guidance of spiritual master. By practicing in the footsteps of previous acharyas, one can achieve the devotional life by practicing, by chanting, by attending programs, by reading Bhagavad-Gita. In this way, one can advance in spiritual life. Okay? We'll stop here. Srimad-Bhagavad-Gita ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna. Before Shainarthi, we'll have a couple of announcements. Tomorrow, we will be celebrating Shri Shri Rukmini Dwadashi, Shri Shri Krishna Rukmini Satyabhama ki. So